Why these are the site important I am explaining, because there are certain drugs which are acting on the transporter, on the SGLT2 transporter, and certain drugs which are inhibiting the carbonic anhydrase enzyme. So we need to understand, we must understand this, if we want to understand the drugs which are acting, or diuretic drugs which are acting on the at the kidney site of the kidney. And then the second transporter, and then again, and then the second, and then the another process which is occurring is here the DCT, at the level of the DCT. So at the level of the DCT, what occurs is this is the cell of the DCT. Same, this will be the apical or luminal membrane, this will be the basolateral membrane. Then there are certain transporter. This is the NaCl, sodium chloride co-transporter, and this is the, in the blue, this is the sodium potassium ATPase, which means it is sodium potassium ATPase, which is a very famous pump. And then the calcium ATPase, which is inserted on the basolateral membrane, and then the potassium channel. This is the potassium channel, and this is the sodium calcium exchanger, and this is the chloride channel. So first of all, we need to understand, let us suppose sodium and chloride come from the here, and it come till here. Then sodium and chloride will be reabsorbed via this sodium chloride symporter or co-transporter. So sodium chloride will be reabsorbed, and what happens, sodium and chloride, there will be sodium and potassium ATPase. Sodium, what does it doing? Sodium, it is pumping out sodium outward and potassium inward by using the energy. It is a type of primary active transporter. So the process is called primary active transport. So sodium will be pumped via the sodium potassium ATPase. So there will be the deficiency of sodium, and then the potassium come inside in exchange of it. So there will be deficiency of sodium here, and the potassium will come in, an excess of potassium. Then excess of potassium will be thrown out via this potassium channel. So we want to get rid of the sodium deficiency. The sodium deficiency will be compensated by this sodium calcium exchanger. This sodium calcium exchanger let it in the sodium and the pumping out of calcium. This is called a sodium calcium exchanger. And then chloride, we have to get rid of chloride will be reabsorbed by the chloride channel. And this is the calcium ATPase means which is pumping. If there is a excess of calcium lying inside the DCT cell, this is the cell of the DCT, lying inside DCT cell, it will pump outward against the concentration gradient. Therefore it is not a calcium ATPase, it will be directly coupled with the energy source. Therefore it is called as a calcium ATPase. It is type of primary active transporter. So this is it, and this is the why we need to understand this. There are certain drugs which are acting on this transporter. This is sodium chloride co-transporter, and the name of the drug, which I will be explaining later, are called thiazide group of drugs. And here I have been explained that there are certain drugs which are acting here, which are called carbonic. So I want to explain the basic mechanism of the carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. What does it do? Subsequently I will be teaching you in more detail, but I am explaining you about some basic. What does it do? Carbonic anhydrase inhibitor do, they are the drugs like acetazolamide, dorzolamide, brinzolamide, and etc. There are so many CAs inhibitor, which means carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. What they will do, they will inhibit this CA2 means carbonic anhydrase 2 enzyme. Carbonic anhydrase 2 enzyme will be inhibited, then H2CO3 will not be formed, which is carbonic acid. Then it will not be dissociated into the H plus and bicarbonate ion. Then what happen, the H plus will not be dissociated to enter into the lumen. So H plus will not be combined from the filtered load of bicarbonate. Then filtered load of bicarbonate and sodium, because H plus will not be secreted, then sodium will not be entering. So sodium and bicarbonate have to mix with H plus, but this process is not happening, and sodium have to go inside. This process is also not happening. So another Second way which remains for the sodium and bicarbonate to what to do. So they will excrete it as it is. Sodium and bicarbonate will be excreted as it is from the tubules, going towards the tubules and come into the urine. So what we are understanding, diuretics, which means it will have come into the urine, which means diuresis has been occur, it have come into the urine. So this is the basic understanding of carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. And second inhibitor I have want to make you understand, that is thiazide. Thiazide will inhibit this sodium chloride transporter. Simple, this sodium chloride transporter, sodium chloride will be excreted out of the kidney into the urine. Same another transporter which I have forgot, this sodium potassium 2 chloride transporter. This is a transporter, sodium potassium 2 chloride transporter. The drug which inhibit this transporter, which means the normal physiological function of this is to help in the sodium potassium and 2 chloride ions, movement of the sodium potassium and 2 chloride ion from the lumen inside the cell of the thick ascending limb of the loop of Henle. So cell of the thick ascending limb of the loop of Henle, it help in this. And here will be the sodium potassium ATPase. What does it do? Sodium which is coming, it help in the pumping out of the sodium, and the potassium which is coming in will be secreted out here into the lumen of the nephron. And the chloride, for the chloride there is a separate channel, there is a chloride, it will go into the basolateral side of that cell, of that thick ascending limb, of the thick ascending limb cell. So here will create, this positive charge will be created by potassium ion. So this positive charge will, what they will do, there are some filtered load. In the filtered load there are calcium and magnesium will be repelled. There is no way to calcium and magnesium to get go through or go forward. So what they will do, they find another pathway to get reabsorbed. This is the pathway. Let us suppose this cell and this cell another here. So the space between the two cells is called paracellular way. So they get paracellularly absorbed calcium and magnesium. So this is the normal physiology. I have make you understand. And then what happened, there is a sodium potassium, this inhibitor of this transporter, what it will do, it will not make the sodium potassium and 2 chloride ion to reabsorb from the lumen to the basolateral side of the thick ascending limb cell. Okay, this is the cuboidal cell. And then sodium potassium 2 chloride ion get another way to get moved to into the lumen. So they will move into the lumen, all the way towards the lumen, and come into the urine. So urination will occur, and this is called as diuresis, which means diuresis has been occurred by using this inhibitor of this transporter. The name of this inhibitor of this transporter are called as a class of loop diuretics, which means they are acting as on a loop of Henle. Therefore they are called as loop diuretics. So this is the meaning of the loop diuretics, and this is the basic of the loop diuretics. And then another group of diuretic substances